Hi and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be finishing up the last few pages of this little mini sketchbook that I actually started in another video. And I think I painted, it was this page and this, maybe not even this page. I think it was the first two pages. Anyways, I've since gone on to paint the rest of these pages on this side, and I'll do a flip through in another video. But I am actually going to come back and finish the last few pages right here on this side. And I had started doing a new layout the other night, and it looks something like this. And I actually want to finish the rest of the sketchbook the same way. So I'm going to continue doing these wisterias all the way up here and all the way to the end. So hopefully this section will be all wisterias, and I think it'll be a nice way to finish this sketchbook. I'm not sure exactly how it'll turn out, but we'll see how it goes. I didn't love this other side, and I'll do sort of more of a flip through in another video when I'm done with this sketchbook. But I don't know, it was just about exploring. And when I started this sketchbook here, I knew I was going to be doing florals, and I didn't know how they were going to turn out. And I was open to it becoming whatever it wanted to be, and that's really what happened. And somehow I ended up here, which I love. And I have to say that I wish I did the layout like this for the rest of the book, but that's okay. I'm just going to finish it up this way. And so you're going to come along with me as we paint this. So I think it helps sort of to see what people are thinking when they're painting. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to continue doing these up the page, but I'm going to change the color, and then I'm also going to sort of let it fall off to the side of the page. It's almost like you cut a painting off, you know, like it was full painting and then you cut it. I think that's what I'm going to do. So for my supplies, in case you're curious what I'm using, this little sketchbook is by Ashley, and she is at Little Cabin Studios. She makes these tiny little mini sketchbooks, which I love, and I love that it's an accordion fold. So that's the sketchbook. And then I have this beautiful set of ceramic. It's like a cup and a palette, and it's by Sylvan Clayworks. This was a gift from a friend. And I just love it so much, and the shape of it is really nice, and it's good for these projects like this where you have a limited number of palettes, so you can use this on a limited number of colors, so I can use it on this palette. I actually think that I might be working more in the future, just squeezing paints out directly onto a palette instead of using them out of pans, but we'll see how it goes. I've just sort of been experimenting. Alright, so as for the paints that I'll be using today, like what's the best way to explain this? So it is a random set of paints. These ones here are M Graham, and they were sent to me by a friend, just samples that she had. So she squeezed them out for me. She has the tubes, so she sent me some. These little ones down here are actually all by Stakibi Colors. They are handmade watercolor paints, and I love her paints. They're beautiful. They re-wet. And I have a video actually of swatching some of these colors or some of her paints. If you want to check them out, I'll link them in this video. And then these all here are new, and they were gifted to me, little samples from also a handmade watercolor paint maker. Her name is Kelsey, and her Instagram is at 31 Purple Fish. And I just had a chance to swatch all of these the other day, and they just are so beautiful. And so I'm going to be using some of these colors as well as some of the colors here. Mostly the one that I used already. You can see it on my palette already to paint what I used to paint this set of wisteria, so that you know, in case you're curious, is I used a purple from M Graham, and then I also mixed it with 31 Purple Fish's color here. I don't think that there's a name on this little sample that I got. Let me see. Whoops. Oh, there is. I put magnets on the back so they would stick. So let me see. This is French red. So French red, and it's a beautiful sort of magenta-y color. It looks kind of like this. So yeah, I thought this color was really pretty, so I mixed those two together. And there's a tiny little bit also of Stakiwi's color, and the name is Atahua or Atahua. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it is a beautiful bright pink color. So that's what I had used um, for this flower, this set of wisteria flowers. And the green is also from M. Graham with a touch of this French red. So there's a little bit of a mix of everything here, and I just really was looking for purples and greens with a little bit of a red, and that's where I came up with the colors for this wisteria. So as I move up, I think I might still use the same family of colors, but I may mix in some of these pinks, maybe a little bit more magenta or a little bit purple. We'll see how it goes, but that's the plan. And so let's get painting. So I think I'll start with a very similar color that I was using before. And so this is going to be the French red. So you can see that it's a really pretty magenta. I think I'm going to start that here. And I may end up making this one a little bit, I might mix in a little bit of this blush kind of color here from Stakiwi Colors. I am definitely not one of those people who is very strict about how I mix colors while I'm painting. I sort of just go with how I'm feeling at the moment, and I don't know, I just go with it, go with the flow. So I start at the bottom. I always start at the bottom here, or I had, not always, I just painted this for the first time, but I usually start at the bottom of the wisteria and move up because that's how I saw another painter do it. And the funny thing is my mom was the one that shared this video of Chinese wisteria with me that was actually all in Chinese. And so she had sent it to me. It was a Chinese instructor, and it was just so beautiful that I had to give it a try myself. And so that is what actually inspired me to give these a go. And so they are really this style. I would say like the way that I'm painting it is definitely borrowed from watching that video. And I never would have found this video if it wasn't for my mom, because the video title on YouTube is completely in Chinese, and so there's really no way I would have found it myself. So yeah, thank you to my mom for sharing it with me, and I'll definitely have to link it for you in the description so that you can give it a watch too. It's like done in Chinese brush painting style, and I had taken Chinese brush painting as a kid when I was in Chinese school, actually, and it's been a long time, and I almost wish that I could go back and do it again. It was really fun. It's one of my favorite electives. So I guess if I had a Chinese brush, calligraphy brush, I would be able to do this more, I guess, like with the right techniques, I guess, because when you're doing Chinese calligraphy and using the Chinese calligraphy brushes, I really feel like watching the instructor do it, it was just such a, it's like more like you're really using the way that the brush works, like a one stroke movement, and creating the you're creating the petals that way. And I feel like it's just beautiful. And there's not a really good way to do it with a watercolor brush, really, because of the way the bristles are and the way that it snaps or doesn't snap. Does like because I feel like the Chinese brushes, they're different. You know, just the way that they paint is different. So one of the strokes she does is this sort of rounded, this rounded stroke, and it doesn't look like this the way I did it. It looks a lot more beautiful in her video, and there's a lot more variation in the color of this stroke. Like she can get it to be really dark on one side and then almost no pigment on the other side, just because there's paint loaded on the tip of her brush but then not at the belly, and so it creates really beautiful variations, and I can't get them like that on this brush. So just is the way it is. And then another thing that I noticed in the wisteria blooms, the way that she did them, was they got lighter in quality as you moved up. So I'm just adding more water. So I really am just mimicking the shapes that I saw her do in order to create these. But if I could do it the way that she did it, which was just in these like single strokes, it was very masterful, and I just loved watching it and seeing how she did it. So this is just my amateur attempt, I would say, at doing these wisteria. And I've shared in the previous videos from this month doing flowers that flowers are not my strong suit, not something that I really enjoy doing, and so this was a surprise to me, I guess, that I was able to paint these and then really enjoy them. I'm just going to add a few more here, because if there was one over on this side of the page, so it's a little bit of this purple. So then, something else she does is she'll add the stems after. So then I'm just using, this looks like a sap green. I actually don't even know what color this is, but I'm mixing it with a warm yellow to make sort of a yellow green. And then I'll draw, or I'll add a little touch of this French red to the tip of my brush. And then I will I'll paint here the top of this wisteria. And I have the most trouble kind of putting in stems and things, and I don't know. It actually feels very random to me, and I think the problem is, and I will be the first to admit it, is that I really should look at the actual anatomy of how these grow, and that would actually help me figure out a better way to put in these connecting parts. But in some ways, I just like to wing it. I know maybe that just sounds bad, but that's what I'm doing. Then one thing she also does is she'll go a little bit darker, and then add in these little details onto the blooms. And it's just these two little marks like this, which is what I saw her do in the video. So that's what I'm doing. And then come back in at the base of some of these where they attach. And lastly, she'll do very, very light petals, just to add in some filler. Lastly, I'm going to add in some leaves here, so it's the same color, and then adding a little touch of this red. I think I'm going to add a little bit of Alright, so I just have this tiny little piece at the top left, and I'll just show you what the rest of this looks like first for now. And I actually really love the way that this has turned out so far. I don't know why, but it makes me happy, and I think you don't really always have to have a reason why you like something besides the fact that it makes you happy. But I'm going to finish one more at the top here, and I'm going to put it more on the left side, and that's because I want to vary the location. So I would go left, and then see how this one's on the right, and then this one's more sort of in the center. And so that's my thinking behind this. If I can share a little bit of the thought process while I'm doing this. So I will go in and I've put one sort of right here, maybe even a little bit more towards the center like the first one I had. And I think I'll do this one a little bit of the same color, but add a little bit of purple. So that's what I'm gonna do here. here is the sort of finished spread. So if I try to get the whole thing in the frame, it looks sort of like this. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today filling out this mini sketchbook and finishing it up. I hope that you enjoyed watching me paint this wisteria, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.